You ever see an article just explode online and wonder how? Well, yours just, fades away. Most of us chalk it up to pure luck, like some kind of cosmic lottery. But what if it's not luck at all? What if there's a system you can use? Well, let's get into it, because today we're going to break down the actual architecture of a viral post, one you can write in a single, super focused session.
And this, right here, is the core idea. This isn't about sitting around waiting for some lightning bolt of inspiration. Nope. It's about understanding the structure, the psychological triggers, the rhythm that makes people not just read your stuff, but feel like they have to share it. Virality, it turns out, is a skill, and we're about to look at the blueprint.
8 seconds. That's it. A study from Microsoft found that's the average attention span you're up against online. That is literally less time than it takes to tie your shoes. This is the battlefield we're fighting on. So what does that mean for us? It means you absolutely cannot afford to be slow or vague or boring. Your writing has to be engineered for this exact environment.
So how in the world do you win in an 8-second world? Well, you start by understanding the one tool you're using for all of this, your own brain. This isn't about writing hacks, not really. This is about biology. It's about finding your brain's natural turbo mode and using it. See, neuroscientists figured out that our brains are actually built for short, intense sprints. Think of it like this. Your brain has a peak performance mode, but it's on a timer. Trying to write for hours and hours is like trying to sprint a marathon. It just doesn't work. We're not built for it. The 90-minute rule is all about working with your brain's natural rhythm, not against it. And here is exactly why protecting that 90-minute window is so critical. Get this. A single distraction, a quick text, tweaking one sentence, that can cost you, on average, 23 minutes of your focus. 23 minutes to get back into that deep work zone. That's a massive, massive hit to your momentum. In a 90-minute sprint, you just can't afford that. And this really highlights a huge misunderstanding we have about creativity. We've got this romantic image of the writer, right, waiting for the muse to show up. But the reality, it's much more like being an athlete. It's about managing your energy, riding that neurological wave. The goal here is not perfection on the first draft. The goal is pure, uncut forward momentum. Okay, so mindset, check. Now let's get our hands dirty and build the actual thing. If virality is architecture, then these are the essential pillars. We're officially shifting from the why to the how, the specific pieces that grab a reader and refuse to let go. It always starts with the headline. And here's a challenge for you. Give yourself 2 minutes, that's it. A great headline isn't just a boring label, it's a psychological hook. First, it has to make people curious. Second, it has to promise them something valuable in return for their time. And the real secret sauce? It creates a little bit of contrast, a little twist that they just can't ignore. So, they clicked. Success. But your next job is even more important, the hook. Your mission is to basically kidnap the reader's attention. Seriously, this isn't a gentle invitation to tea. It's a full-on psychological interception. You have to smash through their mindless scrolling and force their brain to pay attention. So, one of the most powerful ways to do that? A confession. As humans, we are just wired for vulnerability. A sentence like this one triggers our empathy and our curiosity at the exact same time. It feels intimate, and you immediately think, okay, I have to know what happened. Here's another killer hook, the mini-crisis. This taps right into our survival instincts. Our brains are designed to pay attention to problems and danger. Think about it. You'll scroll right past 100 motivational quotes, but you will almost always stop for a relatable disaster. And this one is good. This is the power of a direct challenge. A provocative truth makes a bold, kind of uncomfortable claim. It challenges how the reader sees themselves, and they'll keep reading just to resolve that tension in their head. It forces them to engage. So, you've hooked them. Awesome. But how do you keep them on the line? With rhythm. A great post isn't just a boring list of facts. It's a journey. And that journey is built on emotional checkpoints. We call these story beats. And they are the engine that pulls the reader all the way to the end. And every powerful story beat has the same 4-part arc. First, you have the setup, which just grounds the reader. Then you introduce tension, a problem, a question, some kind of conflict. That tension builds and builds until it leads to an insight, that aha moment. And finally, you give them the release, that satisfying feeling of resolution. That's what makes a story feel whole. Now, this part is absolutely key.
Writing something great is one half of the battle, but making it shareable, that's the other half. And to do that, we have to stop thinking about our writing for a second and start thinking about the reader's real motivation. Why on earth do people click that share button?
So yeah, why do people share? It's almost never just about the info. Sharing is an act of identity. It's a social signal. We share things to broadcast something about who we are, or maybe even more importantly, who we want other people to think we are. And it almost always boils down to these triggers. People share things that scream, "This is so me," or things that make them look smart and in the know. They share stuff that hits them right in the feels, or validates a belief they already hold. Or maybe it makes them feel like they belong to a tribe. Your post goes viral when it helps a reader tell their own story. All right, your 90-minute draft is done. It's probably a little messy, a little chaotic, but it's alive. Now it's time to edit. But I want you to forget about spending hours polishing every word. We're talking about a quick, 5-minute surgical strike that's designed to sharpen your writing, not kill its soul.
This is your entire checklist. That's it. 3 things. First, go to your opening paragraph and cut all the fluff. Get straight to the good stuff. Second, read through and make sure the journey from one idea to the next feels smooth, not clunky. And third, give that final line some love. A powerful ending is what people remember.
Okay, you've written, you've done your 5-minute edit. Now comes what is, for so many of us, the hardest part of all. Actually hitting publish. This last step is just as much about your mindset as it is about clicking a button. And this is the final, most crucial piece of advice. The longer you hesitate, the louder that voice of self-doubt gets. Publishing quickly isn't reckless. It's how you build momentum. It's how you build confidence. You don't wait until you feel confident to publish. You publish to become confident. So what's the big takeaway here? Going viral isn't some mystical, random event. It's a system. It's about understanding human psychology, attention, and even your own biology. The real question isn't, am I a good enough writer? The real question is, am I brave enough to follow the blueprint, hit publish, and let my work find its people?